We are taking chapter number 2, People as a Resource. Human resource, people as resource. Question answer on this. The first one is, what do you understand by people as a resource? So people as a resource is a way of referring to countries' working people in terms of their existing productive skills and abilities. That is, people of the country, how much ability they have, how much skills they have, and what are they giving to the economy. Their production or their productivity, how it is acting for the betterment of the country. This is people as a resource. Human resource, that is human being as a resource, is an asset for the economy. It's not a liability. Population becomes human capital, manav punji, when there is investment made in the form of education. If you educate a person, if you train a person, if you give him proper medical care. So in the form of education, training and medical care. And in fact, this human capital is the stock of skill and productive knowledge embodied in them. That is, a human being has all the capabilities if he is garnered or given all the important things which is required for him to be an asset for the country. How is human resource different from other resources like land and physical capital? So human capital is in one way superior or shresht to other resources like the land and the physical capital, because what will you do with land and physical capital? Who is going to work with them? Human resource, human being can make use, proper use, intelligent use of this land and physical capital. So land and physical capital cannot become useful on its own. We have to have human resource or people to make them better or use them better. What is the role of education in human capital formation? So the educated people find jobs in private firms, while the uneducated person continue with the same work as their parents, or they will take some small work. They earn a meager income like their parents. They don't get much, which is just enough to support a family. And several years of education adds to the quality of labor. So this enhances their total productivity, and total productivity adds to ultimately the growth of the economy of the country. So this in turn plays an individual, you can say salary as a salary or payment. This in turn pays an individual through salary or in some other form of his choice. So it is known fact that the investment made in education, this is very important, investment or nivesh done in education and health, one can yield a high return in the future in the form of higher earnings and greater contribution to the society. What is the role of health in human capital formation? So the health of a person, if just understand or just imagine that if you are not well, when you are not well, you are lying on the bed, you are irritated, you don't want to meet anyone, you are just worried about what is going to happen, how many days I'm going to lie on the bed, and then your productivity will be less. You will not be able to do anything. So the health of a person is very important. The health of a person helps him to realize his potential and ability to fight the illness. An unhealthy person becomes a liability for an organization. So health, this is an indispensable basis for realizing one's well-being. Therefore, the improvement in the health status of the population has been priority of any country or government of any country. In our country, national policy, this is also aimed to improving the accessibility of healthcare, medical care, family welfare, parivar kalyan, and nutritional service, that is poshan, with special focus on underprivileged segment of population or those who are not getting these things. What part does health play in the individual's working life? So this was actually what we have seen in the previous question. The answer remains the same, but we'll add some more thing. So health plays a vital role in individual's working life, as we just saw that a person with not a good health he by himself will not be able to perform properly. So health plays a vital role in individuals' working life, since no firm, no company, no organization would be induced or will be interested to employ people who might not work efficiently as healthy workers as compared to healthy workers because of ill health. And not only that, people who are physically or mentally ill, they cannot work. What are the various activities undertaken in the primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector? So the different activities that has been classified into three main sectors. First is primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Primary sector, anything which comes from the nature, that is agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry, fishing, poultry farming and mining. All these are coming from the prakritik sansadhan, prakritik or nature. So primary sector includes all of these. Also quarrying and manufacturing, this comes in the secondary sector. So manufacturing, most of the input comes from the primary sector to the secondary sector. Most of the things come from here. So quarrying and manufacturing is included in the secondary sector. Then the services provided to this primary sector and secondary sector and other sectors, means all the trade, the transport, the communication, banking, education, health, tourism, services, insurance, all these are included in the tertiary sector. What is the difference between economic activities and non-economic activities? So economic activities, see, wherever you work, you get money, you are being paid. That is, this is all those work you perform or anybody perform or the organization perform, and if the money transaction is there, then these are economic activities. If something has been done and there is no transaction of money, you don't get salary for that or payment for that, or you don't give payment to anyone, that is the non-economic activities. So economic activities and non-economic activities. The activities in the third sector result in the production of goods and services. So activities which are not performed to earn money, that is, no money is involved, but to get some satisfaction, to make happy, or to just feed your, you can say my passion, right? These are called non-economic activities, and these activities add value to the national income. Those economic activities add to the national income. So these activities are called economic activities. So those activities which add to the national income, these are economic activities, and those are done with no earning of money, that is called non-economic activities. So these activities, these activities are just non-economic activities. They are just performed to discharge social obligation, or say for physical fitness or recreation. They don't involve money. So economic activities, they have two parts: market activities, that is bazaar, and non-market activities. So the market activities include or involve remuneration to anyone who performs, that is, you have to pay money. People visiting place of worship, providing relief to the victims of flood and earthquake, engaging in sport activities, gardening, listening to radio, watching television. These are all examples of non-economic activities. That is, for listening to radio, the radio jockey might get money, but you are not getting any money, or you are not being paid, or you are being paid, or you are paying someone. So non-marketing activities are the production for self-consumption, because again, it doesn't involve money. The three activities most often reported are the cleaning, cooking and child minding. So if a woman is there and she is selling some stuff, she'll get money, or she is working for something. But if a woman is working in house for the kids, feeding them and doing all the household work, she is not being paid. So she is doing a non-economic activity. Why are women employed in low paid work? So women are paid for their work when they enter in the labor market. Anyone enters in the labor market, they are being paid. But their earning, if you compare to the male counterpart, that is like that of their male counterpart, is determined by what? On the basis of the education and the skill. So majority of women have very less, meager education. They have lower skills also, low skill formation. Therefore, the women are paid low compared to men. So most women work when job security is not there. Most of the women work where job security is not there, and because of the lack of education and the skills, they are paid less. But the scenario is changing now. How will you explain the term unemployment? So you are a person you have education, you have skill, you are ready to do the job, and you are not getting a job. There is not a proper employment for you, or the government is not able to provide employment to you, or the employment, or there is no employment in the market, then you are unemployed. So unemployment is said to exist when people who are willing to work at the going wages, that is, you are ready to work on the amount which is being paid, okay, that daily wages or whatever wages are there which is suiting to your skills and education. So you are willing to work, and you are willing to work on the wages, but you cannot find jobs. There are no jobs for you. Then you are berozgar or unemployed. What is the difference between disguised employment and seasonal employment? So I'll just give you an idea, then we'll go ahead with this. First, disguised employment. Suppose a family is there and there are 10 people. All are working on the same field and they are sharing the output also. These 10 people, they are not required here. Only 5 can do the work. Only 5 people can do the work, and rest 5, even if they are taken off, then also the production will not be hampered. It will not change. And these 5 people can work somewhere else, and they can add up to the income of the family. But these 10 people who are working here, they think that they are working, but they are not working. They are not required there. This is called disguised employment. Seasonal employment means a farmer is there, or a labor is there, okay, farming labor. Now when the seed are being sown, or some things are going on while the crop is being sown, all the activities he might be required. But the crop, when the crop is growing by its own, he is not required. Then after it is being done, means after some days or some months, when the crop is ready to be harvested, now he is required again. So this period of time he is not having any work. This is called, he is getting only employment in this season and this season. This is called seasonal unemployment. So in case of disguised employment, people appear to be employed. They think that they are employed. Seasonal employment happens when people are not able to find jobs during certain months, as I gave you example here. They have agriculture plot where they find work. This usually happens among the family members engaged in agriculture activity here. People dependent upon agriculture usually face this kind of problem. The work requires the service of 5 people, but you say 8 people or 10 people are involved. So they are certainly, busy seasons where sowing, harvesting, weeding, threshing is done. I'm talking about this one. So, here there are seasons when they get job, and here there are 3 people or 5 people extra. So these 3 or 5 people, they also work in the same plot as 5 people. So the contribution made by these 3 extra people, it doesn't add to the contribution made by the 5 people. So if these 3 or 5 people, they are removed, they are taken off, the productivity of the field will not decline. That is, this field does not require this many people. They are actually more than the skill which is required, or more than the labor which is employed here. This is called disguised employment. And certain months do not provide much work to the people dependent on agriculture. This is for seasonal one. Why is educated unemployed a peculiar problem of India? So now you see a kid, he take education, he does his 12 years of studies, then he goes to some college, he does his graduation, then he goes to some college and he does post graduation. Sometimes some may go and do the doctorate. So all this time of study, what he has done, he is now well equipped with the skill, knowledge, etc. And he has spent a lot to achieve this. When he comes to the market, he finds there is no job. He doesn't find a job. And this is called the educated unemployed. And this is a very peculiar problem of India. So in case of India, educated unemployment has become a very common phenomena, as you see here. Many youth with matriculation, graduation and post-graduation degrees, they are not able to find jobs. And a study being done shows, or research shows, that the unemployment of graduate and postgraduate, this level and this level, has increased faster than about the matriculation ones. Those are 10th pass. A paradoxical manpower situation is witnessed as a surplus of manpower in certain categories coexists with shortage of manpower in others. That means certain place there are so many manpower, and certain place there is no manpower. That is why it is a peculiar problem. In which field do you think India can build the maximum employment opportunity? So we have, you see, there are certain sectors. So since agriculture is the backbone of India, India can build maximum employment opportunity in agriculture-based industry. But there can be other argument also, because the tertiary sector is ever increasing in India. It is providing a lot to the GDP also. Okay, contribution of tertiary sector is lot in the gross domestic product and gross national product of India. So this tertiary sector is also providing a lot of service like the BPO, because of ICT, this information and communication technology, a lot of enhancement lot of jobs has been created. So the tertiary sector is also able to provide maximum employment in employment opportunity. Can you suggest some measures in the education system to mitigate the problem of educated unemployed? So if you have an educated employed, what can be done to make him proper employable? Because it is being said right now that the engineers which are coming out of the Indian colleges, only 40% to 30% they are employable, others are not. That is, they are not being taught, or they are not being prepared at the way they may work in the actually field, coming to the industry. So what is the problem? How can it be mitigated? So measures in the education system to mitigate or to tackle the problem of educated unemployment is, first, make education at the secondary level more career oriented. That is, don't just give the bookish knowledge, make it career oriented, which would endow individuals not only education but also requisite skills for gaining successful employment. Then create a sort of screening process, means every individual can choose subjects that suit his or her ability. You cannot judge a fish and an elephant together, because they have different skills, they are different animals. The introduction of newer subjects and field of study at the school level should be accompanied by growth of job opportunities. So wherever some subject is there, some course is there, that means it has to have a job also. Somebody is doing that course, he must get job in that field only. So in these sectors, that would employ the students electing to study these subjects. These are certain changes that can be done. Can you imagine some village which initially had no job opportunities but later came up with many? Yes, there are various places in the text also it is being given that there is a village, right? And all these villagers would use the cloth. They don't go to any darzi. They will make it by themselves. And also there was no education, but there was a person, or there was a kid, and he was very bright. He was sent to school, and then he became the agroculturist, right? So he learned about the agriculture. He came back, and people saw that he is changing things. Now everyone of that village first they went to the panchayat and they asked for a school, and they sent all the kids to the school, and now the education grew. And after that, the things changed in that village. So this is given in the text also. So Shri Perambadur, this Nanganeri, Kudangulam, these are certain names you can give from your places also. These are some villages which did not have opportunities earlier, but now they are named that the opportunities are apart. They have a lot of opportunities here. So you can give the example of book also. That's what I'm saying, like this one. Which capital would you consider the best? Land, labor, physical capital and human capital. Why? Of course, we'll go with the human capital. Why? The capital is best, which you consider is human capital. Why? Because there are countries like Japan. If you take an example of Japan, Japan is a very small country, and it is always, earthquake there. It's shivering every time, and they don't have any natural resources. But still, Japan name is taken with all izzat. It is in the top countries of the world, developed country and top countries. Why? Because Japan that has invested in human resource, in the people there, as they do not have any natural resource. So these countries are developed and rich countries. These countries, Japan is a rich country now. They import the natural resources needed in their country. They have invested in people, especially in the field of education and health. That this is the prime importance for any country to invest. And these people have made efficient use of other resources like land and capital. So efficiency and the technology evolved by people who have made these countries rich and developed. So these were the question and answer of this topic. Thank you so much and take care of yourself.